walls are not adequately protected, and we still have to go in because who else is there to take over when we get sick? So it's just been an enduring battle, but there has been improvement in the last couple of days as New York has stepped up to the challenge, and we have been efforts made to decompress our emergency rooms, which we do appreciate.
And how do you manage this? I mean, you're still learning to work. How do you manage that fear?
I mean, courage can't exist in the absence of fear, right? I mean, fear is fear. It's what you do with it. I can either let fear overcome us and not go in, but we have no choice, and we have to derive some kind of meaningful, productive action out of it. And if it takes courage to go in and to keep going in for my colleagues and my brethren that are now sick or hospitalized, to go in for them, because if we stop going in, emergency rooms can't function. You can't function without nurses or doctors to take care of patients. Then the system will collapse, and then who's going to be around to take care of you when it's your turn to get sick?
Dr. Tapchi, you're in the emergency room at SUNY Downstate in Brooklyn. How are you managing with, I know you're low on beds, how are you making it all work?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me, and thank you for sharing so many doctor stories. This is a tough time for everyone, and it's very inspiring. Yeah, times are tough, but what I do see a lot in the ER is a lot of bravery in so many different ways. Bravery in the patients that are dying there and struggling to fight this virus, and they don't have their family with them. The bravery of the nurses, the people that we don't talk about, the janitors, the security staff, everyone there to help make this hospital function. It's a heroic effort, and we're all trying what we can with what we have. There has been almost what it seems like 3 waves of patients coming in. It was first the wave of people with fever and cough. Then it was this wave, it seemed like last week, where it was the very old people coming in that were trying to fight this virus and just couldn't. And now I feel like this new wave that's coming in are the people that we sent home, and they were trying to fight that virus and they just couldn't. So now we're having healthier people with the virus coming in, and they're coming in very sick. I know that we're talking about a plateau, and I love to think that there's a plateau, but to me in the ER, it doesn't always feel like that. It's still very overwhelming. There's still so many people coming in, and everyone that's coming in right now, I feel like every person in the ER needs some sort of respiratory support, some sort of oxygen.
Let me ask Dr. Sun, I think I heard you say that that if somebody should come into the hospital, if they're home and they have the virus or they have the symptoms, they should really only come into the hospital if they can't, I think it was you said, they can't complete a sentence without trying to catch their breath. Is that right?
Right. If you are talking like this and that is not normal, then maybe the emergency room can't help you, right? But if you are walking, talking, speaking full sentences, there's nothing that we can do for you in the emergency room that you can't already do at home for supportive care with COVID-19. The emergency room, in fact, may be more dangerous for you because if the virus is actually true in that it's aerosolizable and lives in the air up to 2 to 3 hours after someone sneezes or coughs, and hospitals are 85 to 90% positive for COVID-19 exposure or for patients, then it lives in the air. You might actually catch it or be exposed to a higher viral load just by coming to the emergency room when you could actually have stayed at home and write it out on supportive care on your own.
And Dr. Tapchi, just in terms of testing, that is still a major issue, that just there's not enough testing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so we're not testing people that we're sending home. That's what we call the walking well. But right now I feel like we're testing a lot of people just because the people that are coming in now do need to be hospitalized. They do need intensive care. They need to be admitted for that respiratory support. And for all those patients that we are admitting, we are testing. I think the new thing now that should be more prevalent is the antibody testing to know whether we are immune or not. I want to know if I'm immune, so I feel safer going to the hospital. I want to know that I'm not going to give it to my patients, and my patients should know that they're not getting it from their doctors. And I think it could help the economy if we all know what our immunity is. Those people that are immune can go back into the workforce, and I think that's the testing that we need right now.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be crucial just in terms of trying when and if, and no telling exactly when that be, in terms of getting back to some kind of normal life. Testing, and particularly the antibody test, is going to be crucial. Dr. Tapchi, I appreciate all you're doing. Dr. Sun as well. Thank you. Stay safe. thousands of healthcare workers in Michigan have already tested positive for the virus, and the dangers for this hotspot already running low on protective gear as well.